Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early May 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Aquarians out there. I hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. Let's see what's up. Talk to me, my guides. What do we got for Aquarius here? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going. Let's rock. What do we got for the Aquarians, please? And thank you. My God, it's nice and quick, please. Thank you. Okay, so time ticking into the future with this card, right? So there could be some sort of aspect of time working through the various things you could be going through right now. And we'll talk about it. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Have a look at this card. It does pop up from time to time with different zodiac signs. We see this lady there with her lovely shawl. She is holding that hourglass. The sand is slipping through her fingers. So we think about the concept of time, the Saturnian concept of time. Sure, it is a bit of a control structure when we think about it. Now, I feel, or I personally believe, that everyone experiences time in a different way, right? Like for some people, you might feel like you've been waiting on something forever, like time is dragging. You ever notice that? Sometimes time feels like it's dragging. Sometimes it feels like it's moving super, super quick. So there could be time playing factors in whatever it is you're going through right now. Whether you feel like time is slipping by, time is moving too quick, or it might be dragging, okay? But also, I always say with this card, you might just be waiting on something when this card shows up, whether waiting on a person or waiting on a literal thing. Let's get into tarot. And yes, that first card, I always say it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. But let's see what we have for you now. I'm going to get you 3 of these in the upright before we get the intuitive juiciness going. So let's shuffle it up here for my Aquarians. What do we got? Early May, please. It's been a few interesting weeks. So, speaking of the last few weeks, last week's reading was titled An Explosive Talk. There was a lot of fire, there was a lot of air energy in last week's reading, and I did feel like there was a big possibility for a lot of Aquarians to have a conversation that was very fired up, whether good, bad, or indifferent. So hopefully if you did have one, it didn't go off the rails too much. But as you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take these how they hit for you, okay? Because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's. And that energy from last week can still slip over into this week, but let's get these 3 cards going. Thank you. Okay, yeah, interesting. So 2 cards popped out, and I will say this about the other. The first one is the Star card, which is your card. It's a beautiful energy, it's a beautiful card, and it is of significance when we have it in an Aquarius reading. The second card is the 9 of Swords, the same card that showed up in the Libra reading and in the Gemini reading. So all the air signs have this 9 of Swords energy, and we're going to have to talk about it. Let's get you one more. Okay, high strung, could be thinking quite a bit. All right, we have the Death card. Don't freak out about this card, especially if you're new to tarot. We have a lot of powerful energy here, Aquarius. We do. Big Scorpio energy showing up. So yeah, we're going to have to talk about these. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get the juicy intuitive stuff flowing. Now, as I look over here, first glance, I notice that we have 2 very powerful major arcana showing up. One that represents you, and then we got the Scorpio energy. Powerful themes and archetypes, especially with this air energy. There's a lot of air happening, okay? But let's go through one by one and see what these archetypes could be really signifying, okay? Because if your mind is in a lot of places, it could be this heavy energetic current. But position number 1, we have the Star. Okay, like I said, this is the card that represents you in the tarot deck. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's beautiful. It's filled with hope. This, to me, is a card of the future. Okay, the shining light at the end of the tunnel. This is a card of wish fulfillment. It's happiness. So when I see this in any reading, it's a beautiful thing. Now, since this is an Aquarius reading, it's extra significant in my simplistic style of reading. The clarifier could tell us something that could be coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. All right, so there's a lot of power here in this card, and it's a card of the future. So I really want to see how this all plays out. Now, moving to the center, we might have a possible challenge. We have the Nine of Swords, okay? Doesn't just have to be your energy. It could be someone you're linked to here. And when I see the Nine of Swords, you see that person, it looks like they're in their bed. They got their face in their hands. This card can link to sleep. So hopefully you're not having issues sleeping, nightmares, things like that. This is a huge card of anxiety, nervousness, overthinking. So these are themes we want to watch out for when this card shows up in any type of spread. That you're not overthinking, that your mind isn't racing and things, and that you're getting proper rest and relaxation. This card can absolutely represent paranormal activity in my style of reading, okay? So you might be having paranormal experiences, or your intuition could be trying to tell you something when this card shows up. So there's a lot here with this Nine of Swords. Hopefully you're not stressing about something too much, because with a card of the future and then a card of karmic cycles next to it, there's a lot of power here. There's a lot of change as well. Now, moving to the very back end, we got the Death card. For a portion of you, you might just be connected to a Scorpio when this card shows up. This card looks scary on the surface. If you're not connected to a Scorpio, this is more about the changing cycles of life. Now, of course, the Death card can represent endings, but this is more of a card of rebirth, rising from the ashes like a phoenix, okay? So yeah, maybe something has ended, or maybe something will end, or a cycle will close out. But it's what you do with that energy, what you do with that ending, that's more important. This is extremely change-based and transformative. This card can absolutely represent the karmic cycles of life, okay? The changes, the beginnings, the endings. And this could be karmic archetypes as well, which is another thing I've been seeing in the air signs. So we really need to see what's up. Because when we combine the Death card and the Star card, these are extremely powerful. I know I said it multiple times, and it bears repeating. And just to bring back to what we saw in the beginning, time. So when we're talking about cycles, when we're talking about the future, we were talking about time in the beginning. It's all interesting how this is playing out. Your Aquarius readings are always super interesting. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, my friends. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got here for Aquarius, please? Guides. And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Star card. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why this box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Star card. Talk to me. Yeah, and this doesn't feel small, this reading. This has a lot of power behind it. It's a lot of intensity. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. That is not the best place to be. For a portion of you, there may have been something in recent times that was a knock to your confidence, okay? Or I just want to say this, Aquarius, be nice to yourself. Be good to yourself. Like, that's just something I feel like I have to say for some reason. Because when the Queen of Wands shows up, if for a portion of you, you might just be having issues with a fire sign. Simple. End of story if that's it. Like button heads, whatever it might be. But when I see the Queen of Wands, she is a card of beauty, sexiness, confidence, and in reverse, this is the inverse of that, right? So under a card like the Star card, I just want to reiterate that in the coming days and weeks, regardless of what you do, what you've done, things in the past, things in the present, mistakes you've made, good things you've done, be kind to yourself, be nice to yourself. And as a person that knows many Aquariuses very closely and intimately, I know that Aquarians are very hard on themselves. I know this. So in this time, it is very important for you to just be kind to yourself. Love yourself, all right? I feel like that's the main message here, okay? Whether you have had a knock to your confidence or not. So let's just keep moving forward. We're going to see what's up with the Nine of Swords. I feel like that's the main message. So why is that Nine of Swords here? Thank you. Hermit, okay? Yeah, stuffing it down, hiding it. Okay, portion of you could be having issues with a Virgo here when Hermit shows up in the upright. This is somebody hiding some pain that they may be in, okay? Or hiding how much something is affecting them. For a portion of you, this could be someone you're having big communication issues with, okay? Even for a portion of you, possibly no contact with a specific person, at least physical contact, and it could be stressing them or you. But once again, this energy with the Nine of Swords, the anxiousness, the nervousness, the stressing, or whatever issues they might be. With this Hermit card, it is somebody not showing that, keeping it to themselves. This isn't a card that is like out there showing the world. The Hermit is somebody internalizing, keeping it within. Okay, so whether it's you or somebody else, they're really trying to internalize whatever anxious, nervous, or pain this could possibly be. I will say this again as well. I mentioned that the Nine of Swords is a big card of the paranormal. The Hermit is another card I link to the paranormal. So just know in the coming days and weeks, you might be finally in tune with the subtle energies around us. So you might be having more experiences. You might be having your intuition tug at you for whatever reasons. We're just going to keep moving forward, okay? There are some warnings here to be had, okay? Like about treating yourself well, self-confidence, then someone whose mind, and that's all air signs. That's not just Aquarius. Let's see what's up with the Death card. Then we'll do a quick recap. Lots of power. You know, right now more than half of the spread is Major Arcana. So let's see why that Death card is here. A lot of you could be going through very powerful change and metamorphosis. There's a Death card. Thank you. Yeah. Ten of Swords in reverse. Yeah, a tough ending, right? Painful ending of some sort. And I don't feel like it's something that is extremely fresh, okay? With the Ten of Swords in reverse under the Death card, I don't feel like this is something that just happened today. I mean, for all I know, some of you watching, maybe you did have some sort of painful ending today, or a tough one, or a rough one, okay? But when I see this Ten of Swords, to me, this does talk about some possible time elapsing. And it seems to be a theme, right? Like we have this time, then the Star, the future, another card that represents time. The Ten of Swords in reverse does talk about, yes, something's still hurting, but slowly getting better, like slow and steady. Like it's going to take some time to heal this, whatever this might be on the back end. And we do have like pain and all that stuff happening, but I am seeing a tough ending in the energy. All right. Not saying it's coming down. It's going to be today. It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be this week. But the Ten of Swords in reverse, this is somebody really being affected by a painful or a tough ending. Okay. And you know me, if you watch every week, I'm not a fear monger, right? Like I try to keep it as optimistic as possible, but I'm going to read the energies I'm feeling for you. I owe it to you to do that. So let's go through and do a quick little recap. It is what it is. We're not going to dwell on it. Then we'll get into a shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Star card with the Queen of Wands in reverse. Like I said, simply, you might just be butting heads with a fire sign. If that's it, case closed. But I was also feeling like I needed to reiterate this message to a lot of Aquarians, because I know a lot of Aquarians really can be very hard on themselves sometimes. This is Spirit asking me to tell you to please be kind to yourself. Regardless of what's going on, whether you're right, whether you're wrong, whether it's something from the past or something right now, it's very important that in this time, from now, you watching this now, moving forward, that you are kind to yourself. Moving to the center, we have the Nine of Swords with the Hermit in the upright. Somebody masking something here, right? Now, of course, this is that nervous, anxiety, pain, all that stuff. But I'm getting the masking. I'm getting the suppressing. Could be issues about not properly communicating with somebody or having zero contact with somebody as well. But we have lots of links to the paranormal, okay, with the Nine of Swords, the Hermit, now the Ten of Swords, and the Death card. This is a highly paranormal type of spread. So if you're not experiencing paranormal things, just know your intuition could be tugging at you. Now, as we get to the back end, we have the Death card with the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is an alignment of endings, right? Now, and life is all about those cyclical endings, beginnings, endings, that never-ending cycle, circle of life, right? But this is a tough ending that is still lingering for some reason. Like time may have elapsed, but this is still not super fresh, but it's there, okay? And it needs some attention, okay? Maybe that's why you need to be kind to yourself. But let's get into the shadow card, Okay, yeah, please, if you want to look into them further, you can take a screenshot of that. But I'm going to get you one shadow card here, Aquarius, just to see what's in the shadows, whether it's something within yourself or whether it's something you don't quite see. Interesting spread, my friends. What do we got? Lots of swords. Been seeing that with all the air signs this week. Lots of swords. So what's in the shadows for Aquarius, please? Thank you. All right, Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, your emotions, all right? That's showing up here in the shadows. For a portion of you, this is water sign energy. So, hey, if you were connected to Scorpio there, Knight of Cups could represent it. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Now, when we see the Knight of Cups, this is Prince Charming type of energy, right? Super silky, smooth talker. This is also emotionally expressive, and it does speak about love, but the inverse of that could be somebody with some very sour emotions, right? Disgruntled, or somebody who's just they feel like their emotions have been walked over. Spirit could just be highlighting you to really, once again, be kind to yourself and acknowledge your emotions and deal with them however you see fit. But any Knight of Cups, it could be issues in regarding romantic things that are still lingering in your energy, right? Romantic connections and love, right? Even though there might be pain, there's still love when that card shows up in the shadows. So Aquarius, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. For the May subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 boxes of the beautiful Tarot of the Owls. This is an awesome deck. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards in this week's reading, which one spoke to you the most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, I will announce the winners in my community tab at random. As always, my friends, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.